Full service, 100.1 FM WJBD. That song is Your Microphone is On.
That'd be Lord Byron's Luggage by Warren Zevon.
Lord Byron's Luggage by Warren Zevon. And before that?
Before that, we heard Ray Charles and Mess Around, which I can't give you the album. What I know it from and what we just talked about is I know it from the movie Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, where John Candy sort of lip syncs it.
Does he sing it?
I think it's more of a lip sync while he's driving and smoking and
playing piano on the dashboard.
Right, yeah.
And, we can't say good evening.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning. So here we are again, folks. It's our third week. We still don't have a name, but we're working on it. But we have names. I'm Matt Donahoe with you, and as a co-host, along with me, co-host.
Hi, Matt Leibarger.
There you go. Our producer.
And Steve Stein, not the producer, but I'll take it, I guess, if I can get it.
And this week we have our special music ambassador, Chad Spray.
Hello.
And he's actually already doing better about speaking into the mic than our producer does. So that's so welcome again, and thank you for coming, Chad, to join us.
Not a problem. Going to be a long day tomorrow.
Chad's got to get up and work early in the morning, but we've convinced him to come with us and share some musical insight. And the Warren Zevon song comes from your library, right?
Yep, comes from the album My Rides Here.
Was that his last album?
No, his last album was The Wind.
Okay. And so we mixed that together, of course, with the Mess Around.
That's right.
So coming up this hour, we've got some fun stuff to talk about. Of course, the point of the show is to play some music you might not normally hear on the radio, and also have some fun chit-chatting with each other, giving you some stuff to listen to and think about. So we've got a couple topics our producers lined up. Tidbits?
Yes.
Free tidbits?
Well, if you want to pay, I'll take it.
What do we have up next, Matt?
Up next, something that you might hear occasionally on the station anyway, but we're going to pair it with something else that I think it goes well with. But what we're hearing next, we'll be hearing Dream Academy, Life in a Northern Town. Full service, 100.1 FM, WJBD. That's the Primitive Radio Gods standing outside a broken phone booth with money in my hand. And I've always... first of all, before that, we heard
Life
in Northern Town, thank you, from Dream Academy. And for some reason, I have paired those two songs in my brain. I don't know if I feel like they have a similar sound or what that is, but I identify those songs together. So, yeah, there you go.
And
can't back it up with anything other than that. But
what is it? Life in a Northern Town's from the 80s?
Yeah.
So like 82?
And
I must say early, yeah.
Other ones from the 90s?
And I actually cheated. I'm on the internet because I thought the Primitive Radio Gods song was originally from the 80s and was re-released, but it's from 96. Samples a B.B. King song.
Oh, what song?
How Blue Can You Get? I didn't know the name of the song. That's what I wanted to look up, actually.
We should dig that song up and play it sometime.
I'll get right on that.
So, good morning, and I promised some topics, so we'll start off with a fairly easy one here. This is Matt Donahoe, along with musical ambassador Chad Spray.
Hello.
And producer Steve Stein.
I'm still not quite clear on why I'm the producer here.
Well, with the job you're doing, we're not sure either. And also with us is Matt Leibarger. Okay, here's the question. And just to cite my source here, there is a writer, his name is Chuck Klosterman, and he has created this 50 questions for insane conversations called Hypotheticals. And he's a very prolific pop culture author. And so this is a set of cards with some topics for conversation. So let's find out what the people in the room think, and you listening at home can ponder this as well. So here's the question. You have won a prize. The prize has two options. Okay? You can choose either option, but not both. The first option is a year in Europe. Okay? You get to spend a year in Europe with a monthly stipend of $2,000.
Wouldn't that be euros?
No, it's, well, however it
Is that the current conversion rate?
I don't,
or?
you know what? I don't know. There's nothing on this card about conversion rates.
What about the yen?
Well, we're going to Europe, so that probably isn't
Bit
going
off
to.
there.
Yeah, just.
A couple continents over.
You never know.
What's the second option?
Okay, so the first option is a year in Europe, monthly stipend, $2,000. Second option, 10 minutes on the moon. Which one do you pick? You can live in Europe, so like you're living free and you get $2,000 a month.
Is there an allowance for the moon?
No, you just get 10 minutes on the moon.
Do I get to specify where in Europe?
Well, Europe.
Yeah, that's a pretty big continent.
Well, no, it's a year in Europe. I'm sure you could go wherever you wanted.
Fair enough.
Okay. Year in Europe or 10 minutes on the moon.
Easily Europe. If I'm on the moon, I may float away, and it's kind of a nightmare floating off into space by myself. I mean, that would be terrifying, so definitely Europe. Nice, like, ancient castle in Scotland. I'd spend a year there, collect the cash.
Are we talking
Not the moon.
Are we talking summertime or wintertime?
A year? I'm going to say both again here, Steve.
I'm talking about the moon.
It's there's no seasons on the moon. It's 10 minutes
How
on the
do you
moon.
know?
It's, well, you know what? That's science. That's how I know.
I heard the jury's still out on science.
So 10 minutes on the moon or Europe, Steve. What do you pick?
I'm going to go with Europe, even though I'm not real impressed with either one of them. to be
Why?
honest with you.
You're not impressed with a year in Europe for free.
Not really.
Why?
Do you know where Europe's at?
Why?
Well, like we were talking about earlier, the whole conversion factor of money, I'm not sure I'm getting a good deal.
I don't think we got a good deal with you as producer, but Matt Liebarger.
Well, after the other two answers, well, not because of the other two answers, but I think I would go with the moon.
I think that's the obvious answer.
Well, and the reason I thought I was kind of up in the air, but Europe is something that you could conceivably do on your own.
Sure.
Or whereas the moon is, I don't know. That seems more of an opportunity.
You do what?
That,
Ooh, look, rocks.
You're not coming back from the moon. 10 minutes is, you're done.
What do you mean? Okay, it's not like a space prison. It's not like they're sending you, like it's a,
So many things can happen in space.
assume you'll be safe.
I don't know if that's possible.
No,
I'm going to assume it's a safe trip to and from and on the moon, just like the year in Europe would be free of being robbed or losing your luggage or
people storming your castle.
great.
That might be interesting. One of those castles on the Highland Moors in Scotland. Love it.
Okay, what if it was a castle on the moon?
That's a tough one.
So wait, so Steve and Chad say Europe, and Matt and I both say moon. And say I've got to agree with Matt because you don't get a chance to go to the moon. I can go to Europe right now.
Isn't there a company that'll fly you to the moon here in a few years? So, that's feasible.
Yeah, it's like
now.
$100 million for a ticket, but I think you can book tickets for the moon.
Well, I couldn't afford that, but I could hitchhike across Europe.
Wait, I just thought of one stipulation here.
Okay.
If I could go to the moon and wave at somebody through the telescope,
Well,
I
I don't
would
think
be all for that.
I don't think there's any restrictions. It's not like you're going to get to the moon and there's a sign that says no waving. Who's going to have a powerful enough telescope? Who are you going to wave to?
Whoever's looking through the telescope.
Wait, you go to all this trouble to wave, and you're just going to hope that somebody's looking.
Yes.
Matt, you look terribly distressed at this conversation.
a little bit, yeah.
Well, think about that, everyone listening at home. Which do you pick? The year in Europe, $2,000 a month,
Take the cash.
or 10 minutes on the moon where you get to wave to someone. We're going to jump back into music now here on our show. This is from a band called We Landed on the Moon from their album This Will Be One for the Books.
Did you plan that? we landed on the moon?
I did not. That is serendipity, ladies
That's
and
me.
gentlemen.
I planned that. I'm the producer.
Thank you, Steve. Way to earn your keep. And the song is Boats here on Full Service WJBD.
Full service 100.1 FM WJBD. It's 12:32. You're listening to the Midnight Music Show, as yet untitled.
As yet untitled. That's not the name of our show.
Right. Well, but my argument is it soon will be.
No, we need to come up with a new name for the show.
Well, anyway, I'm Matt Leibarger. We're here with Matt Donahoe, Steve Stein, and Chad Spray. And by request, here's another... Oh, wait. You didn't request it. We requested it. Here's this week's Crowded House pick following our check with the Weather Eye forecast. This week's pick is Something So Strong from their debut album in 1986.
Full Service, 100.1 FM WJBD. Who was that, Steve?
That was Dire Straits.
Talk into the mic, please.
I am. That was Dire Straits' Walk of Life.
All right. And before that...
Before that was our Crowded House pick of the week, Something So Strong.
Welcome back. Matt Donahoe.
Matt Leibarger.
Steve Stein.
Chad Spray.
And we are taking it through the midnight hour. We had an interesting discussion about Moon or Europe last hour, or earlier in the hour, I should say. Here's another one of those topics. Again, Chuck Klosterman is the author. The cards are called Hypotheticals, 50 Questions for Insane Conversations. Chuck Klosterman, a pop culture writer. Here's a question. Yes. No, here's a question. It's a lengthy one. One morning you awake and immediately feel strange. You get out of bed and realize that you are inside a posh hotel room you've never seen before. There's an attractive red-headed stranger sleeping in the bed alongside you. You frantically get up and rush into the bathroom. You look into the mirror, and much to your utter amazement, the image looking back at you is Bruce Springsteen. Somehow, you have magically become Bruce Springsteen. You start talking to yourself, and the voice you hear is Springsteen's speaking voice. You quietly sing to yourself, and it sounds like Springsteen's singing voice.
Wasn't this on an episode of Quantum Leap?
It sounds like it, yes. That's what this almost is, okay? Because watch how this plays out, okay? Let's see. You walk back into your hotel room. You see an acoustic guitar, attempt to play it, but your musicianship is identical to how it was when you were your previous self. So like Quantum Leap, you would only know as much, like I know nothing about playing guitar, so I wouldn't know any. I'd sound like Bruce Springsteen, but I could not play the guitar. In other words, you have Bruce Springsteen's physical body and vocal cords, but you have your own mind and skills. Your knowledge of Springsteen's lyrics and the details of his personal life are the same as they always were. You are inside Springsteen, but you are still yourself. Your brain is unchanged, okay? Got it?
Yeah.
Okay. The question. You open the door of the hotel room and see a copy of the Los Angeles Times. You flip to the entertainment section and discover that Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band are scheduled to perform a concert that night at the Staples Center. What do you do in this situation? How do you proceed?
Okay, first of all, I leak to the press I've got a hand injury, thus negating me having to play any instrument. And then I change the set list to music I like, and it's just kind of going to be free-form Springsteen. I mean, I imagine Werewolves of London would be sang by the Boss. I would definitely perform some of his well-known Christmas music for the fans. It would be a concert never forgotten.
And the headline the next day would be, Boss has lost it.
Matt, what would you do?
I would show up and do my best. And again, I think I would change the set list also, and we'd be doing maybe Nebraska in its entirety, but and I don't know how I would deal with the not being able to play. I mean, well, if it's E Street Band, the E Street Band can play, and
You could just sing.
I'll just run around and like slide, and swing the mic stand and things like that.
I'd take a cue from Clapton, and it would start out with, see if you can spot this one, and then I would just be playing whatever, and then everybody would just look confused.
So you'd put on a horrible concert, too, is what you're saying.
Pretty much. Might slip the Willie Worm song in there.
So what song would you play? What song as Bruce Springsteen would you have your band play? You have to pick one non-Springsteen song.
Grim Grinning Ghost, the Disney Haunted Mansion song. I've heard various covers. A rocked out version by the Boss would be incredible.
Steve?
Memorable.
I'd have to go with the theme from The Greatest American Hero.
Matt?
A non-Springsteen song?
Well, just a song that you would want to hear Springsteen perform. Like, what would you want to get up there and do?
As far as I'd be doing Atlantic City.
Okay.
But as far as a non-Springsteen song,
Sure.
I have no idea.
Non-Springsteen? Can't think.
He does a lot of covers anyway. So an old
True.
rock and roll cover, like Chuck Berry or something like that. He does a lot of that anyway, but that
Well,
would
yeah.
be fun.
So you do something that could, like, fit into the mix pretty well. These two would do things that would, again...
I'm the boss. I don't need to fit in with anybody. People are going to come and see me, so I'm going to put on a show.
Well, I mean, a good show or...
Memorable.
I'll give you that.
I like the headline, Boss Has Lost It, though. So, speaking of Springsteen, from the Born to Run album, we have up for you now Meeting Across the River on Full Service, 100.1 FM WJBD. Full Service, 100.1 FM WJBD. That is...
The theme from The Greatest American Hero.
And that was Joey Scarberry, and our producer Steve actually had a little bit of technical difficulties there. Steve, we've got music coming up now, playing, and there's all kinds of get things working.
I'm not
here.
sitting behind the board.
Well, there's a reason for that. You need to get.
Yeah, you're setting quite the example.
Yeah, well, you need to get to work here. So, again, welcome. We're getting ready to wrap things up, though, so I guess it's more goodbye. This is Matt Donahoe, and I wanted to give a special shout-out to our one confirmed fan out there who I know is listening from my Twitter feed. Marla McDonald is listening, or at least she was about half an hour ago, and she was tweeting to me here. And by the way, if you want to follow me, it's Matt Donahoe on Twitter, and it's Mr. Donahoe, just M.R. Donahoe, D-O-N-O-H-O. Follow me on Twitter. And anyone else want to promote their Twitter feed while we're at it?
I don't remember what mine is. Matt _ Liebarger, I think. I don't know. I've tweeted. I think I've written like 2 tweets ever. So
I do not tweet.
And
I'll have one for you next week.
oh. Our musical ambassador, Chad Spray, lighting up the room here with his personality and bright shirt he has on. So, tell us about Greatest American Hero, Steve.
One of the best shows of all time.
no, that's not fair. As a kid, I remember really enjoying that show.
I just remember as a kid, loved the show, could not find it. Of course, nobody carried it, so for years I went without. And I would like to point out, on my birthday one year, it came out on DVD, the first series, so I took that as a personal birthday gift to me.
Did you buy it then? That
Yes.
day? I mean, did you sit down and watch it?
I did.
Was it as good as you remember?
It was fantastic.
Let's not forget, I also have a picture of you and me together, of you dressed up as the Greatest American Hero. That is quite the photo.
We should put that on. Do we have a Facebook yet? We need a Facebook for our show.
We need a
do.
name.
We need a name for our show.
That'd be the first step. Maybe Facebook would come after that.
I'm still voting for John's Biscuit Emporium.
Doesn't really fit, but good name.
I second the John's Biscuit Emporium.
Good name. Again, good name. Doesn't really fit what we're doing here.
Or does it?
No. It definitely does not. Matt, any ideas?
My idea would be to let's play another song.
Well, we should probably say goodbye then before we...
Oh,
shouldn't we?
sure.
We should, because we're running out of time, but it's been fun. So,
Tell your friends.
now what do we say our sign-off is going to be?
If you like it, tell your friends. If you didn't like it, don't tell anybody.
Ever. That's right. Chad Spray, say goodnight.
Good night.
Good night, everyone.
Steve Stein there.
Good night, Matt Liebarger. Good night.
And Matt Donahoe saying goodnight. What are we playing, Matt?
Well, since I jumped the gun, saying we need to play another song, yeah, I'll go ahead and announce that. Here is the Pixies, and Here Comes Your Man on Full Service 100.1 FM WJBD.